Okay guys, auto convert to avatar. I'm just going to jump right into it, and I'm going to dedicate this video to Darja. And you know who you are. She uses this tool a lot, so I wanted to go through it on the channel and see. I wasn't anticipating publishing this, so I didn't clean up my avatar nudity from DAZ3D. You know what I mean. But here it is. So CLO3D has a tool that you can take any OBJ, FBX avatar and convert it into a CLO3D avatar to be used in the CLO3D program. This is new. It is going to go through a lot of changes and updates, I am sure. Right now, I imported my DAZ3D avatar with heels on. Not a good idea. So you'll see here in the end, I'm going really fast because I'm going to spend time on the second one where I do it again. But I wanted to show you the output and what happens to the body. So this body actually starts to stretch and morph and try to align to your figure and convert your OBJ into a AVT file, which is CLO3D's native avatar file. So guys, it works somewhat. It takes a long time. It kind of gets stuck on 95%, and then it takes like about 10 minutes to like convert everything over. The second one that I try is without texture. So without texture tends to go a little bit faster, but with the texture it takes a little bit long. So as you can see, the joints are moving to actually give this OBJ that did not have joints. It's actually mapping the OBJ to add the CLO3D joints into the internal part of the file of the avatar. So that's big news. I mean, that is something great if you have scans, if you have body scans and you need to use the actual body scans in the program. This is perfect for that. However, it is a little bit limited and it is a little bit glitchy if you try to get really fancy. So if you're doing it for fit, okay, amen, you could do it for fit. So I kind of leave the clock running on this so you can see exactly like how long it takes. I'm going to show you on the next one that it does take a little while. But if you can look at her feet on the screen, her flat-footed avatar from CLO is trying to match to the heels. The foot position doesn't move, so it just elongates the shin and elongates the ankle to the floor, and it comes out looking like, you know, like she has no ankles or she's some kind of alien or something like that. So do not import with shoes on. So you can't get real fancy with this tool, not yet. Not yet. So you have to convert your avatar with the flat foot, and then you can change the foot position to accept the heels. The heels will work, but you have to change the foot position first. So you have to get your avatar rigged, is what they call it. That means when you give it bones. You have to get it rigged through the auto converter, and then you could start manipulating it a little bit. I wouldn't do too much with the poses or too much with the, you know, trying to style it. It's not there yet. It did crash on me a couple of times when I did try to do that with the actual avatar. I might flash a picture at the end, but it just kind of exploded. So right now, this is good. Like I said, if you have body scans for like actual customers that you want to make clothing for, or yourself, if you've got your Fit 3D body scan of yourself, or if you got your 3D Me body scan, you could actually rig it in CLO3D, and then you can dress it and create your pattern and all that kind of stuff. So it has its purposes, and it's something that's innovative, because I think this is just fascinating that the AI is able to do this. You know, whoever's programming this, it's a wonderful, wonderful idea. However, it is still a little bit glitchy. So as you know, CLO is always updating. We always get that little update memo every 2 weeks, every week. But I think it's good. It's gonna get in the works. The second part of this video will talk about some of the issues with the sizing. So you're going to see that I talk about the size with measure matrix in DAZ 3D. That's something I'm going to be talking about on my Patreon. When I get to 5,000 subscribers, I will be releasing the Patreon page so you guys can get exclusive content on the Patreon. That's what I'm doing right now. I am recording lots and lots of content for you guys. I didn't want to do an actual class on any other platform. I wanted it to be accessible to people. So right now I am posting on Patreon. As you can see, this is fast forwarding and it's already at 6 minutes. So I'm going to stop and take a breath for a second and I'll be right back. It'll be nothing to you, but I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I realized that that clip didn't have any speed on it. So I'm speeding this up quite a bit because it ends up being about 14 minutes long. Or 15 minutes that this actually takes. And this was the first take, and I did it with the heels to show you what happened. I know what happens with the heels, but I wanted you to see it because sometimes, you know, we want to get fancy. We want to put the heels on. We want to look, you know, dressed. So flat-footed, bare feet is not attractive all the time when you're doing a creation. But like I said, this is very good, a very good idea because sometimes the program takes up, when you use DAZ 3D, it's a heavy load on the CLO3D program. So when you use those avatars from DAZ, sometimes they're not as low poly. Sometimes they have a lot of geometry, a lot of, you know, the eyelashes, the hair, the makeup, the materials, the mesh quality of the actual skin, all of that tends to load up CLO, I found over the years. And I end up just using a low poly model from DAZ, converting it, using the actual avatar from DAZ. I mean, using the actual avatar that's converted that looks like Fifi, and I make the clothes on that because it responds quicker. We're going to see, you know, that there's a quicker response time. So there's, you know, a good reasons to use this, and there's some, you know, workarounds that you can use it for. But like I said, it's a tool that's actually probably going to grow and change and morph into something that's going to fit the user's need a little bit more and just become more stable. I think right now, CLO is got a lot of competition, and they're trying to be as innovative as possible. And this is something that can carry them, you know, into the future because a lot of people want to make either clothing for themselves or clothing for actual clients. The made-to-measure industry is actually growing. You know, it's part of the whole sustainability movement. If you can make clothes and you know that they're going to fit you, and you know that you're going to like them in advance because you've seen them on your body type, then these are some of the things that future shoppers are going to be able to partake in and enjoy. And this is just the beginning. So guys, let's get ready to see. As you can see, her feet are actually sticking out of the shoes. Now you can see that it says 100%, and that was 12 minutes. So the next couple of seconds, you're going to see some of my things popping up. I should be working, but I'm not. Anyway, the you're going to see her feet are sticking out, and her arms did not actually align, even though it says 100%, like she's done, but her arms are still abnormally long on the CLO avatar, and her head did not even align up. So the shoes kind of throw off the whole bone structure, and it throws off the whole balance of actually getting the bones to be in the right place. You'll see that on the next one. But you can see it actually tries to put the skins together so it can morph the bodies together to know where the bones are actually placed. It's fascinating to see and to watch. It's kind of funny when you watch it in QuickTime, but like I said, it's something that you can actually go ahead and once you get it right or get it to a close enough point, you can use the converted avatar in CLO to make your clothing, and it's less taxing on the system. So let's see what we got going on with the next one here. Yep. Her arms are long. If you can look at her her legs and her ankles, she got no heel height from that, but it did make her actually a little taller than the actual avatar. So let's talk about the next one, and we're going to talk about measurements in this part of it. I tried to make this as interesting as possible because measurements matter, and sometimes we need it to measure the same from one program to another. So with this tool, I found, and you will see too, that the measurements are not all there. And I think Darja knows what that's like. Trying to make clothing on a converted avatar, it just doesn't work. And we're going to see why. Okay, so now, like I said, I usually import my DAZ avatars with actually no materials. So she looks like just the basic mannequin, but I do keep the placement for the hair and any accessories that she has, just to make sure it does not collide with the clothing. And I'm going to just name her Primavera. New Primavera, because this is take 2. Now you get to choose which avatar you want her to look like. I always choose Fifi. I'm partial to Fifi only because of her facial structure. Looks like the most normal out of all of the avatars. As we know, I've had a couple of posts about the shape of these avatars. Why are we all going after using DAZ 3D avatars? Because of the realism. We all desire realism. So being that these are both flat feet, you can see that it even affects the wrist ratio, meaning the shoulder to wrist ratio is easily matched when she's not in high heels. Even the head height and I want to say the torso, all of that is better matched. So this is not a tool that you'll be using for dressing with heels and changing the heel color and changing the foot position and all of that. This is basically for getting to a closer point in your sizing for the avatar. And like I said, less stress on the actual program. So I'm letting this run for a bit. There are videos coming up where I'm going to walk through the whole process of using DAZ characters, creating a character. If you guys only knew how many times I have recorded this video, you can see that I do that. I post it on my Instagram and I'm there with it, but recording videos sometimes is a little bit different. So there is a longer tutorial coming to celebrate the 5,000 subscribers that I have. Tell a friend. If you have not subscribed, you should be subscribing. And I'm just going to beef it up because, to have such a great following from you guys, I'm just going to beef up the information. I'm going to put on some browseware tutorials so you guys can get a look at browseware, which does have a more realistic model named Olivia, Bella, and I think I want to say Emma, but I'm not sure. There are 3 avatars that look a little bit more realistic, and they use Blender ray tracing for their renders. So I'm finding that interesting. I don't really like the pattern making part of it, and they say that it's better than CLO as far as pattern making, being able to do the pattern making. However, I find it not good for importing patterns. I haven't found a good in any of these programs except for Optitext for importing any type of pattern. And there will be some talk about patterns for the professionals on my Patreon account, because you know, when you're getting into using these programs to try to make actual real patterns for real life clothing, there are a lot of things that you have to consider. So I'm working on projects that have to do with measurements. I'm getting measurements from the ASTM, the American Standards. I'm going to actually be getting those for junior sizes for women. I'm getting those for plus sizes, and I'm going to just work through the process of making avatars in both programs and what those patterns actually look like in real life. So this is why I'm saying, like, right now, 5,000 subscribers, great. Join the Patreon, and then this is the kind of content that you're going to see. So right now, tips and tricks for Chloe, you know, a little bit of workflow. I'm going to be, you know, live streaming some of the actual garments that I make, getting a little bit more complex, more technical, more pieces, more layers, more materials, you know. So this is actually going to be the last video that I make before I hit 5,000, because I'm just going to focus on making new content. That was 14 minutes. Okay, you're listening to me for not a whole 14 minutes, but that was 15 minutes of, as you can see. So now let's talk about the avatar sizing. So as you can see, the torsos are completely different. So I can't, the one in the middle is the actual DAZ avatar. If you look, the distance between the crotch is different on all of them. The torso length is different on all of them. So even the one that is copied from DAZ to a DAZ with a skeleton, which is the one on the end, even that one is not exactly the same as the DAZ avatar. The shapes are the same. The sway of the back is the same. The arm's length is not really the same. It's close, but it's not the same. The chin, her head is all the way up. How did it get all the way up? So something in the translation made her head kind of stay up. The other one doesn't have a smooth chin like the DAZ does. If you look at the bust, one has they all have different slope of bust. So like I said, this frustrated me, because if it's supposed to convert the avatar, it doesn't copy it 100%. So even the depth of the bust, even the slope of the bust, and the contour, which is what we use DAZ for when we're using this program. We like the contours. We like the natural humps and bumps that it has, you know. Like, even if you look closely, you can slow this part down if you want. I'm trying to look at the shape of the bumps. The posteriors are all different shapes. So I don't understand how it is that this is converting 100%. It's not. I want to even give it an 80%. I'm not trying to be critical, because you heard me before. I love the tool. However, it needs to get closer to this mesh. Even the knee bumps are not the same. So it doesn't convert it 100%. Okay. Can you use it? Yes. Should you use it? If you want to and you're not being seriously about fit, yes. If you want to go into DAZ and use the measure matrix, which I'm going to show you in 1 second, and measure your model there and use the DAZ form, that is one option. Like I said, I'm making a video about measure matrix and how to use it within DAZ for fit and for making different body types. It does give you a skeleton, but if you can visually see, the pink point is at a different level on each of them. So that means they're all different heights. The one on the end is the measured one. So let's take a look at these measurements. Circumference measurements, I think, is the only thing that I do, because I can already see that the torso is just wrong. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to measure the circumference. Now, where CLO3D puts these points is different from where it's measured in DAZ. So this is measure matrix in DAZ 3D. This is how it looks when you actually have your avatar measurements attached. There is a script that will just automatically show it that is packaged with DAZ, but you actually have to buy measure matrix in the DAZ store in order to use this. So like I said, I'm doing a separate video about that for Patreon members. But let's measure. So right now I'm looking at the waist, and then I'm going to check it here. So it's about an inch difference. Okay, so I just decided to throw some measurements up here for you guys so you can see the differences. Now, we just looked at some of the more important measurements. Now we're going to look at the bust, under bust, and the waist. So the bust 34, under bust 28 1/4, and waist 25 7/8. So now, if you look at the measurement in DAZ taken in the same, actually not the same places. So this is where, you know, trial and error comes in. If you look at the bust actually is smaller. The waist is smaller, the hips are bigger, the leg is bigger. So it's not even proportionally growing. I think I give up at a certain point. You guys can scroll back and forth and rewind and look at these numbers. And then I was like, wait a minute. Let me look and see if these measurement points are actually in the same place. The waist is what tipped it off, because if you look at the waist, it's not at the bend in DAZ. It is actually where the natural waist is, more closer to the belly button. It is not at the bend of the waist where CLO measures at the bend of the waist. So those measurement lines that are on CLO, you can't really follow those. You need to go ahead and measure your avatar in the same places that the measurements are in DAZ. Wherever you place those measurements are editable. So wherever you place the measurement, that's where you need to go ahead and use the measuring tool in DAZ 3D. I mean, in DAZ 3D, and compare it to in CLO 3D and measure at the same points. You're not going to have the line, so it's going to be kind of, you know, guessing where the fullest point is. That's where you want to measure your hip all around, the fullest point, and then it becomes a little closer. But I am concerned a little bit more about the avatar that is created from the avatar creation tool. It's bigger because it flattens her out and it makes her flat and wide like the CLO avatar. So the CLO avatar is great for presentation, but her body mass capacity, just distribution, whatever you want to call it, it's not ideal. I said it. I said it. I love CLO, but guess what, guys? The body. We gotta get better bodies. I know you guys work so hard on those avatars, but I'm saying, like, she doesn't even have any, like her back. We're looking at the back right now. Like, where's her cleavage? You know, that's a thing. Look at her elbow. She has no elbow or wrist. Her thumbs. If we had the opportunity, we'd probably just remove the hands on the CLO avatar. But anyway, I digress, because you know what? Everyone's creativity is different, and we're all trying to achieve a higher level in life. So I think CLO 3D is going to take it up a notch and create some really realistic, maybe they might even work with DAZ to create some realistic avatars that are usable in the program. Or maybe someone else will, and we'll use their product. So, measurements. I'm still going for it. This is 20 minutes of working here, as you can see. I'm not going to take you through it, but as you can see, the measurements are getting a little closer, but it's like an inch difference. So instead of a 2-inch difference, if you measure it in the same place, it becomes an inch difference. However, an inch in the apparel industry is a size, almost a size. It's like half a size. So that's not good. You know, sizes usually grow about 2 inches in circumference, 2.5 inches in circumference. So if you're bigger by 1 inch, you're actually going to be between the sizes that you actually want to make. So this is coming from a, you know, pattern making standpoint. It's not even ease. It's not even like, oh, it's just a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch difference. That you can kind of get away with fitting tight or fitting loose. But a whole inch difference is not too good. Yep. So 39 and 37, 39.7 and 37 on the actual DAS. So Chloe is giving us a little bit more hip and a little bit more leg. But like I said, if you need to use the avatar for draping a first garment so it won't be heavy on your on the software, this is a good reason to do that. If you need to convert a personalized scanned avatar, this is good for that, because then you can give it bones and you can pose it. That's the good thing about every avatar having bones, is that you're able to pose them into the DAS, the CLO3D poses. Whew. Guys, I don't know what it is. I think I have this thing on speed, so I feel like I need to talk so fast. But guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. Leave questions, because you know what? I'm gonna answer some finally. I promise. Bye.